Is time enough at last?
Obsolete, Mr. Wordsworth.
Lie. No man is obsolete.
It's a cookbook.
Who are we?
When will they take the bandages off?
You're a bad man. You're a very bad man.
This lemon sucker here. He's the most suspicious of the bunch.
My name is Talking Tina, and I'm beginning to hate you.
I believe you're going my way.
Live from Willoughby at the heart of the Twilight Zone. Here are your hosts, Alex and Tyler, the prestigiously perfect podcast in which we call The Twilight Zone.
We choose to go to the moon because they are hard.
We'll make America great again. I love America.
What do you want to do this 4th of July? Probably just gonna fucking spend it.
The Twilight Zone.
What is up, Gnomies? Happy 4th of July. Welcome to the Twilight Gnome Podcast. I'm your host, Alex.
And I'm Tyler.
And this is episode 68. What episode are we going to be discussing for our second out of 3 4th of July spectaculars?
For this 4th of July spectacular, we are doing a walking distance, taking a walk down memory lane into good old classic America.
Yes. Season 1, Episode 5, original air date, October 30th, 1959. Pretty crazy. This was almost on Halloween.
Yeah, it doesn't really seem like a Halloween kind of episode.
No, definitely very summer nostalgia.
Yeah. I mean, it's got a few, what are they called? The tilt of the camera.
Yeah, canted ankles and stuff.
Canted ankles?
Yeah, and Dutch angles.
Yeah, Dutch angles, yeah.
They call them canted angles as well.
I heard you say ankles, not angles. I was like, what?
This was written by Rod Serling and directed by Robert Stevens, who did 2 Twilight Zone episodes. But he also did, he was a bunch of stuff. So this was obviously the 5th episode, and a little spoiler alert, he directed Where Is Everybody, the first episode of Twilight Zone. So they kind of wanted him because he had a good resume for the genre, because he did 44 Hitchcock Presents episodes, and then in 1949 they had a TV show called Suspense, and it was kind of like a predecessor of the Eerie Tales, and he did 145 episodes of that. So I think it was kind of smart to get him on board early for a couple of those early episodes.
Yeah, and this episode, like you keep saying, definitely has that very season 1 feel to it, that like certain je ne sais quoi. I don't know what it is, but it has that cool season 1 feel, and you can definitely
I love season 1. Like I said, we've said it so many times. I know obviously 2 and 3 are the pinnacle, but season 1 stands out on its own as being, like, it could have ended then, and it could have still been a great show.
Yeah.
We'll get right into it, Ty. What was your favorite moment?
I had 2 favorite moments, kind of back to back, but my first favorite moment was the scene where the little boy version of Martin falls down, and the older version instantly feels the pain of the broken leg. I thought that was a really cool kind of idea there. And then the second one's the whole him talking with his father at the carousel. I just thought the whole monologue, everything that his dad said, like very sage wisdom, really, really great.
That one gets you in the feels hardcore. I have 2. One of them was more of a shot, but one of them was definitely the him talking to his father at the end of the carousel. It's such a tearjerker. I'm such a sucker when it comes to like father-son things. Like the movie Big Fish gets me every time. Like,
it's been a long time since I watched Big Fish.
It's such a good movie. Get ready to cry, but it's so good. And then my favorite shot was the mirror shot when he's at the gas station. How fucking cool is that?
That was pretty cool. Yeah, because I wasn't... It almost as cool as the one from... You ever seen the movie Contact? Where
is that the one where the little girl is running towards?
She's running towards the mirror, and then they must have like done some green screen or something like that, because then she pulls the door and now it's the other direction. That shot just always blows my mind.
That shot's amazing.
We have the technology to rebuild it.
Doctor, what have you created?
I am, for all intent and purposes, AI Serling.
So every week I put a prompt into ChatGPT, come up with a Rod Serling style intro to the episode we are watching, and this week it came up with this. Martin Sloan, age 36, a man who's climbed every rung of the corporate ladder and found no view worth the effort. Worn thin by meetings, memos, and missed chances, he finds himself stranded, not just on the roadside, but somewhere deeper. While his car gets an oil change, Martin takes a walk. Not just a walk through distance, but through time. Ahead lies a town where summer has never ended. A town where the calendar reads 1935 and the boy who carries his name is still skinning knees and licking ice cream off his chin. Martin Sloan has gone home again, not in body but in spirit. But the past has rules, and one of them is this. You can visit, but you can't stay, especially when the summer you seek belongs to someone else. Tonight's stop, one measured in memories, regret, and the fragile dream of going back, is in the Twilight Zone.
Okay, I gotta be nitpicky here. It was 1934, not 1935.
I think I told it that. I fucked up. It's not the damn AI's fault.
AI knows everything.
All right, Ty. So every week, Tyler and I come up with a few questions for each other, keep each other on our toes while watching said episode. I have 3.
I have 6, but again, it's because I predicted that we might have some in common, so I just made some extra ones.
All right, you want to go first, or should I go first?
You go first.
All right. How much is it for the 3 scoops of soda in 1934?
It is a dime.
Correct.
You should know this one because you just read it. How old is Martin?
36.
Yeah.
What's the kid's name that's stuck in the tree? He's not really stuck, but he gets him out of
Bobby or Billy. It's definitely a B name. I'm going to go with Bobby.
It is Bobby.
Yeah.
Come on, Bobby. Get out of that tree.
He's like a total stranger. Like, why does he feel the need to go up to these people and be like, oh, I'm going to help you get your son out of the tree?
Because there was no men present, Tyler. He had to step up.
He just seems like sort of like a, I don't know, just a very weird thing to do. And he keeps talking to like a bunch of children and like, don't be a weirdo.
I was going to say, so that's my only nitpick with this episode is how unlikable Martin is.
Yeah.
Like, just off the back when he first rolls in, it's like, this guy's a fucking prick.
Yeah.
If his character was nicer, this would have gone over the top for me. But he's such a prick and just always putting his nose into stuff. We'll get into it when we get into it, but I have a theory.
Yeah. Sorry, I kind of derailed us from there, but yeah. Back to the questions. What's the name of the gas station he stops at?
I don't know.
The sign says Service Station Ralph N. Nelson Prop.
I read that in the IMDb. Apparently, it's the production manager's name. They just gave it his name.
Yeah.
What is the house number of the Sloan? What's the old Sloan house?
That was one of mine. I'm going to not look. It was 1407? 1409.
1409.
I knew it was an odd number. All right. What does the kid call his marble game?
Dang it. Like Marbies or something. I don't know.
Aggies.
Yeah. Dang it.
Marbies would be...
Well, everything was in E. And all these ones, Clearys.
The ones that were steel, we called Steelies. And the ones that were clear, we called Clearys. Like, wow, you guys had such creative names for these marbles. One of your questions now?
I'm all done. I'm out.
Oh, that's yours? All right. Who autographed his baseball?
Lou Gehrig.
Yeah.
I hope you get fucking Lou Gehrig's disease.
You have a whole disease named after you now. And my last question, what school did Martin go to as a kid?
Penn State.
Emerson Public School.
All right, we'll jump right into the plot of this one. We open up on a guy in a car flying down the road.
Immediately, we're like, this guy's an asshole.
I don't like I said, you're trying to like make us sympathize, like, but then you're like, this guy's a fucking prick.
Yeah, I don't know if it's just because he's lived in like the big city for so long that he's just started acting like an asshole, but like he flies up through, then he has to reverse because he went a little bit too far, and then just lays on the horn. The guy's right next to him.
Right, he's like, can I get some service over here? And just very unlikable. And because it's season 1, Rod brings us in instantly.
Martin Sloan, age 36, occupation, vice president, ad agency, in charge of media. This is not just a Sunday drive for Martin Sloan. He perhaps doesn't know it at the time, but it's an exodus. Somewhere up the road, he's looking for sanity. And somewhere up the road, he'll find something else.
He also litters.
He's not a very good person. When we get back from our first commercial, the mechanic says that it's going to need an oil job and a lube job, and it's going to take about an hour. Because it says, we like see a sign that says like Homewood. He's like, that's Homewood, ain't it? And I just wanted to guess you. That's what it fucking says, asshole.
And I always love it when either a TV show or a movie says the name of the show or movie inside of its own self. And then right after he sees the sign, oh, 1.5 miles. That's walking distance. I'm like, I am so here for shit like that. I love that.
Like, I haven't been there for 20, 25 years. That's walking distance, ain't it? Yeah, it's walking distance. And then we get my favorite shot of the mirror, which
Oh, just before that, though, you get the start of the really cool music, which throughout the whole
Very melancholy,
episode,
whimsical.
Exactly. I think it draws a good line between exactly what the episode's all about. It has that melancholiness, but it also has that like fun fantasy aspect to it.
Right. So what do you think about the whole mirror thing? The whole thing, obviously, him getting hurt and it actually having a repercussion of him in the future leads me to believe that it was real. But there's so many moments that you're like, is he in a dream thing? Because like the whole spotlight thing.
The spotlight is the part that makes me think maybe this is all a dream.
And then the mirror thing, it's cool because obviously we follow him into the mirror and then we see everything that precedes it is after we saw the mirror shot. So it's like we're in an alternate timeline.
I didn't
like
think
a
of it
dimension
like that. I don't know. The fact that he actually has an injured leg afterwards. And
then the whole thing, so when the kid gets hurt and then the cops holding him, no one's like, obviously people, if you were another adult, they'd be like, what the fuck? That asshole's chasing that kid on the thing, but everyone just like leaves him alone. It's very like he's in his own personal hell type of thing.
And maybe like his injured leg is just psychosis, like he believes it's injured, so he acts like it's injured.
Maybe. I was just wondering if this actually happened or not. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I went into it thinking that it actually did happen because of his old injured leg, but now that you kind of bring that out, and then I was thinking the moment too when the spotlight goes on, I'm like, this is something more dreamlike where it's more in the imagination.
And I can't think of the top of my head, but there's a few moments like that spotlight thing that happen that are like, I don't think this is real life.
But there's other parts too where like, so if you're saying it starts when he looks in the mirror, but then at the end of the episode, he walks back into that same diner and it's completely different.
When he goes to it and it's in the 60s?
Yeah.
I wonder if what we witness in the episode is just what he was thinking the whole time he was walking there, and then when he got there, he never actually went to the past.
So even the pre-mirror shot would have been, even the beginning of the mirror shot would have been like not, it would have been in his head. Getting
into the weeds there, could go into some psychological what's going on there.
Yeah.
But
he's in the Twilight Zone.
Yeah, but anyway, way off track. We get that really cool mirror shot, and then he is in a drugstore.
Messing with all the chairs, too. Again,
being a prick. Just smashing them all up against the
fucking
thing.
And then he doesn't pay for the cookies, but he's like eating them out of the jar. Are those just like for anyone?
Maybe. They used to have sample stuff at like Fred and stuff, but what will it be, says the counter jockey or whatever the hell you'd call him, and he'd be like, they used to make chocolate sodas here with 3 scoops. He tells the guy he used to live here, and they used to only be a dime. The guy makes it for him and goes, all right, that'll be a dime. You're going to lose your shirt selling them at that price.
People don't make them this cheap anymore.
Martin starts to tell him a story of when he was a kid. Oh, Mr. Wilson used to always be in the back in a big chair, sleeping. God rest his soul. Well, anyway, see you later.
And he gives him $1, a whole buck.
And he's like, it was worth it. He leaves. Soda jockey goes upstairs. Sees the old man in the chair. Oh, Mr. Wilson, we're out of chocolate. Very proto Back to the Future. I really enjoyed that. That was really cool bait and switch.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it wasn't bait and switch. The minute you're watching you're watching the Twilight Zone, and you're like, okay, clearly he's back in time. The minute they says it's going to be a dime,
maybe.
But also, this is kind of another point to it possibly being real. Is we're following Martin, so the fact that it's showing us stuff that isn't within Martin's periphery would tend to point towards, well, maybe this is real.
Perhaps. Martin's walking down a neighborhood, meets a very young Ron Howard playing marbles. Martin tells the kid,
played Aggies.
I used to live in that house over there. And the kid goes, that's the Sloan house. Martin tells him, yeah, it's me. I'm Martin Sloan.
You're not Martin Sloan. I know Martin Sloan.
And then very smartly, the kid runs away. This guy's fucking creepy.
Yeah, he keeps going up to a lot of strangers.
I say, if this was real life, I don't know if maybe in 1959 you could get away with this stuff.
No, this was 1930s.
Yeah, so maybe I guess you'd get away with it more, but like someone would be like, dude, I'm calling the cops. This guy's fucking weird. But next, Martin's in the park, and he gets a kid named Bobby out of a tree because he felt the need to step up and do that for some reason.
Right? Like, Bobby, get down here, Bobby. Oh, I'll help you get your son down.
Come on, Bobby.
I didn't ask you to help me.
We get that cool whimsical music again, and then Martin just starts having a conversation with the mom of the kid. I used to live here.
I actually used to carve my name into that exact thing right there, over there. He's carving it too.
He walks over, and there's a little boy carving Martin Sloan in the bandstand. And he's like, are you Martin Sloan? Yeah, but a lot of kids do this. And then he's like, oh yeah, that is me. That's what I used to look like.
I'm surprised that he doesn't remember what he used to look like. Like, how have you changed that drastically in looks that you don't? Or like,
I mean, to be fair, if he doesn't know that he's gone back. If you were just walking in the park and you saw you as a little kid, would you instantly be like, that's me when I was a little kid?
If I saw me as an 11-year-old, I'd be like, holy shit, that kid looks exactly like me when I was 11. That's fucking freaky. And he also happens to have the exact same name and is carving it and doing the exact same thing I remember myself doing. Like, this should obviously be a big...
Is odd.
Yeah.
For sure. Next shot, Martin goes to his house, knocks on the door. This really got me too. Like, you imagine, and then like his dad answers, because it never says it, but I would imagine his parents are dead by now.
Yeah, I think
so
it's
him
implied.
Seeing his parents is like, oh shit, I get to see mom and dad again.
Yeah, and obviously he's super excited about it, but then he goes about it in a very creepy way of like, hey, ma, pop, and it's like, you are a 36-year-old man, you don't look anything like their kid, and they're not expecting a time-traveling you to come back in time. Like, I don't know, I guess it's because we've seen a lot of like pop culture shit. I think I know how I would react. I mean, I hope I would react in a reasonable way if I got stuck back in time and I was in my childhood.
Just try and go back to your house like he does. Like, no, this is where I belong. Like, dude.
Be like, no, you don't belong here. You're an old man. I don't know who the hell you are.
Yes? Who do you want to see?
Who is it, Robert?
Mom. Is that Mom?
Who are you? What do you want?
Mom, don't you know me? I'm Martin.
Must be a lunatic or something.
You mustn't be frightened. I grew up here, Mom. Don't you know your own son?
Just start yelling. It'll make you seem less crazy.
Yeah, he's definitely not giving sane vibes.
So, I know, I won't tell you until you get it or we get into the inside the Twilight Zone, but the dad, his voice didn't sound familiar to you?
Just his voice?
Yeah,
he looks like...
As soon as I heard his voice, I was like, oh, it sounds exactly like...
He looks like Michael Shannon.
He does not look anything like
He looks exactly like Michael Shannon.
Martin pretty much gets the bum's rush, so he goes and he sees the neighbor has this cool car, and he's like,
the neighbor is the one that beckons him over.
Hey,
like, this is a
mister,
very
come
friendly
check
town.
this out.
You think he's just excited that
He's
he had a new
fucking
car?
18-year-old kid who just got a new car.
He just wants to show literally anyone that walks by.
Yep.
Hey, buddy, look at my new car. It's got one of these
and the
tumble
guy's
seats.
like, oh, I haven't seen one of those in forever. What are you talking about, mister? This is brand new. He's like, this is brand new. It's a 1934 Roadster. How could this be brand new? It's like, yeah, I just got it right out of Detroit yesterday. What? Commercial break. Next shot, it's night.
And we get a Rod
mid-intro.
voice. This like never happens, so it was kind of weird.
I'll get into it more in Inside the Twilight Zone. It is very rare. I'll go over which ones do it, but
yeah, I was kind of wondering like why he even felt the need, like, and everything that he says is unnecessary. We have already established that he's gone back in time. Like, why does Rod need to?
Like I said, it's pretty much only in the first season that he does it. I think he's still finding his groove.
A man can think a lot of thoughts and walk a lot of pavements between afternoon and night. And to a man like Martin Sloan, to whom memory has suddenly become reality, a resolve can come just as clearly and inexorably as stars in a summer night. Martin Sloan is now back in time, and his resolve is to put in a claim to the past.
I know everyone says it like they yearn for a time before, you know, which is funny because like we yearn for like the 60s, 50s type of thing, but in these episodes, obviously they're in the 60s. So this Horace Ford, they're all yearning for like the 30s,
right,
20s era, and all the architecture does look really cool in the 30s.
I love the bell chiming in the background, kind of like denotes the whole he's traveled back in time. Like, remember, time is an important aspect of this episode, so to have the bell ringing in the background is kind of and it also, like you said, Back to the Future sort of predecessor, the clock tower plays an important role.
Again, we're going to go hardcore off topic on this whole episode, but the whole something going on in the Prisoner of Azkaban, the best Harry Potter, when they're in back in time the whole time,
you hear the ticking.
Yep. I love that.
Great scene, not the best book.
It is. No. At this point, Martin sees his old baseball glove and then sees his old bike. He starts to ring the bell, but a hand just stops him. It's his dad. Back again, huh? He's like, Dad, this is my glove. You gave it to me for my birthday. I belong here. And he's like, look, I don't want to hurt you, but if you hang around here, we may have trouble. The mom...
He's being very friendly about it, too. Like, if someone was, like, pretending to be my son and, like...
for sure.
I'd be
get
like...
the fuck out of here.
Dude,
I'm
gonna
kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah. The mom comes out. Martin kind of goes crazy, tries to convince her. Like, Ma, it's me, Martin. And she slaps him.
And it's at this point that he hears the carousel music coming from the distance, and he remembers.
And this is kind of weird too, because like the parents seem to freeze, and like he kind of zones in on him, and this kind of makes it like dreamlike too. Like he sees the carousel, and now that he's got like the blinders on, and he's going right to that. It's very dreamlike.
Yeah, definitely. And then right afterwards, when he's walking towards the carousel, is when we get all the Dutch angles, which again is very reminiscent of being dreamlike. So it kind of toes the line of, is this supposed to be all in his head? Is this actually happening? Kind of, I think it's probably intentionally unclear.
Right. He goes to the merry-go-round. He's trying to find his younger self. He finally sees his younger self on the merry-go-round, tries to chase him down. I gotta talk to you.
Real creepy move.
Young Martin falls off, hurts his leg. Instantly, old Martin feels his leg pain, which is pretty cool.
I really do like that whole idea of if you went back in time, like anything that you affect, like especially like if something happened to a younger version of yourself,
it would be instantaneously on you.
You'd feel it, which wouldn't really make any sense because
you'd
then
get the scar, but I don't know if you'd feel it. Or you'd have the memory of how much it pained.
He heard it enough that he still called it a bum leg. So I'm guessing however much he injured it, it was enough to like a permanent injury of your leg where you'd always kind of have like a limp. But I kind of like it and I kind of don't like it because at the same time too, if you had that injury, he would have always had that injury and would have always had the memory of having that injury. Like if he goes back in time for real,
you're assuming the whole like time travel thing where you can't change anything.
Exactly, like in Harry Potter where it already happened, so you can't actually change anything. So he should have already had memories of an older creepy man chasing him on a carousel and he falls.
Again, I guess that kind of leads it more into the whole dream thing then.
Yeah.
Really cool shot of when older Martin starts walking towards young Martin. And like all the kids slowly start like parting like the Red Sea. That's a cool one. And I'll play some of this because it's cheesy, but I like when he says to his younger self.
I only wanted to tell you that this is a wonderful time of life for you. Don't let any of it go by without enjoying it. Won't be any more merry-go-rounds. No more cotton candy. No more band concerts. I only wanted to tell you that this is the wonderful time for you.
See, most of that speech he gives to himself.
Yeah, but and then the whole thing with the cop holding him, and the cop doesn't even acknowledge that Martin's there, so that kind of seems dreamlike. And then the spotlight thing, awesome shot. This would be my second
favorite shot of all time.
No, my second favorite like monologue after the dad one, because that one really gets you in the heart. Feels when his dad talks to him.
Yeah,
but that one's very good. I enjoyed that. Very emotional episode.
I couldn't really relate that much to it. I was like, I don't think there's any moment in my childhood I'm like, oh man, I just really wish I could go back to this particular year and just relive it. I'm like, oh, I'm happy where I'm at.
We get a fade shot to kind of symbolize that some time has passed, and Martin's father comes and talks to him. He's like, I thought you'd like to know that the boy will be all right. He'll limp, but he'll be okay. I found the wallet of yours in the yard. The date's on the money and your license. It's all from 1960 and hasn't happened yet.
I feel like the money's a good indicator because you'd probably think like, okay, ID obviously, like any cards obviously should have future dates, but I wouldn't have thought because like
especially in 1935, no one's printing their own fucking card or license.
But like to have the dollar bills though also match. Like that'd be like a small detail to be like, oh yeah, like dollar bills have dates on them, don't they?
Yep. He's like, you know things that are going to happen and all this stuff, right? But I like how the dad doesn't pry into, like, what's going to happen. He goes, you don't belong here, son.
Yeah, he's not, like, asking about, like, what's going to happen to his future because he knows, like, the more important thing is clearly Martin came back here because he needs something and to explain to him what it probably is that he needs.
There's no room. There's no place. Do you understand that?
I see that now, but I don't understand. Why not?
I guess because we only get one chance. Maybe there's only one summer to every customer. That little boy, the one I know, the one who belongs here, this is his summer, just as it was yours once. Don't make him share it.
It's such I love that shot. And then I like how his dad even kind of like reassures him. He's like, well, maybe there's cotton candy and bandstands, but you're just looking in the wrong places. Instead of looking back, look forward.
Look forward, yeah.
That one, it's cheesy as fuck, but it's so effective.
It is, and yeah, just everything he says is just very good sage dad wisdom, and it just, I don't know, kind of helps set Martin back on the right direction that he kind of needed to. So he came back in time looking for something that he'd lost, and then when he but it kind of needed this sort of moment with his dad to realize, okay, maybe I didn't actually need what I thought I needed, and what I needed was actually ahead of me.
Yep, very touching. Says, goodbye, Pop. He gets on the merry-go-round starts spinning, and then next shot, we see a rock and roll jukebox.
Also, about the whole carousel, like another thing to add to it, maybe being a dream, the carousel's been sitting still this whole time. The minute he gets on it is when it starts moving again and starts like powering up. So yeah, another weird thing.
So now he's at the drugstore. We don't know what time we're at now, but we can kind of ascertain that he's back in his normal timeline.
Music's more poppy and 50s-y.
And there's a different soda jerk behind the counter. Martin asks for 3 scoops of chocolate. The guy's like, all right, but that'll be extra, 35 cents.
And then he asks what flavor, too. It's like, I just said chocolate, dude.
So you know that service is getting crappier. He's like, how about Old Man Wilson? Oh, he died about 15, 20 years ago. And now, like, Martin's just, actually, I've changed my mind about the soda. He's like, oh, these stools weren't made for bum legs. Did you get that in the war? No, merry-go-round accident. He's like, oh, yeah, I remember. They tore that down a couple years ago.
Too
Little late
for
for you,
you,
huh? Yes, very late for me. It was good.
Yeah.
And then Rod takes us out.
Martin Sloan, age 36, vice president in charge of media. Successful in most things, but not in the one effort that all men try at some time in their lives, trying to go home again. And also, like all men, perhaps there'll be an occasion, maybe a summer night sometime, when he'll look up from what he's doing and listen to the distant music of a calliope, and hear the voices and the laughter of the people and the places of his past. And perhaps across his mind there'll flit a little errant wish that a man might not have to become old, never outgrow the parks and the merry-go-rounds of his youth. And he'll smile then, too, because he'll know it is just an errant wish, some wisp of memory, not too important, really, some laughing ghosts that cross a man's mind, that are a part of the Twilight Zone.
And that's our episode. Tyler, what did you learn?
I learned some cars used to have rumble seats, and neighbors loved showing them to strangers.
They sure did. All right, IMDb currently has us at an 8.2 out of 10. I'm pretty sure I like this more than you, so you go first.
All right, I'm giving this a 6.5. I love the dad's monologue, really good and insightful. Kind of wraps the whole episode up really well. And the ending is a good mix of optimistic and melancholy, and cool having the injury affect the older Martin, which I really liked. It just was a bit slow for me, but overall, I did enjoy it.
I'm going to give this an 8. I enjoyed it a lot. It's very sentimental. It hits on all those heartstrings. It plays to that very well. And just something about the season 1. If Martin's character wasn't such a prick and a weirdo, I think this could be up higher for me, but I just find him kind of unlikable. But other than that, everything in this episode's awesome.
Who are they? Where are they? What are they? Let's find out together in the Twilight Gnome presents Inside the Twilight Zone.
All right, so this week we have Gig Young. He played Martin Sloan. He was in lots of TV and movies from the 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s. Nothing crazy. It's going through IMDb, these last 68 episodes, you see a lot of actors at the time were in a bunch of the same stuff, whether it be like Hitchcock Presents, Perry Mason, Kojak, Quincy. There's just so many. Nothing really stuck out to me. Like, usually I try and find stuff that's Rod adjacent, be it Night Gallery or anything kind of related to that, Studio One, stuff like that, but I didn't see anything. And then we have Frank Overton. He played Robert Sloan, the father. He was in 2 Twilight Zones.
And I know it now. The other episode was Mute. That's why I was thinking of Will the Real Martian Please Stand Up as one of the cops, because he's a cop in Mute.
He is. He played a sheriff in a lot of stuff. He was also known for, he was in the movie To Kill a Mockingbird, where he played the sheriff. And he was in lots of movies and TV from the 50s and 60s, usually playing like a authority figure type of person.
He must just have that trusting cop face.
And I think his voice sounds a lot like, I forget what I think his name's Brian Cox is the actor who does the voice of the McDonald's thing now.
He sounds nothing like Brian Cox.
He does sound a lot like him. He sounds a lot like it. You would even admit it to it in Mute that he does sound a lot like him. He sounds a lot more like Brian Cox than he looks like Michael Shannon.
No, he looks a lot more like Michael Shannon than he sounds like Brian
smoked.
Cox.
All right, and Ron Howard played the Wilcox boy. I have him in there as the third because it's pretty cool seeing Ron Howard. Obviously, he is
a minor
probably
character.
like Hollywood royalty, really. I mean, think of all the TV he's been in and all the movies he's directed and work that he's done.
I think at this point he's more known as a director than actor. Like, other than Happy Days and American Graffiti.
And Andy Griffith Show.
Oh, yeah.
He did a lot as a kid, but I think after, like, in his 20s, I think he kind of switched over to directing. Obviously, he did The Grinch with Jim Carrey. He did the Han Solo movie, which I actually thought was pretty good.
He gives his brother some roles every now and then.
Clint Howard is very strange-looking man. He was in an episode of Night Gallery, people, and if you think he was weird-looking as an adult, you should see him as a child. He played in an episode of Night Gallery called, like, The Boy Who Predicted Earthquakes.
Huh. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen pictures of him as a child.
I'll show you. It's something. You'd be like, yep, that's Clint Howard.
Face only a mother could love.
This is the first of 4 Rod mid narrations. Now, they're pretty much all in season 1. Can you think of any other ones that have? So out of the 4.
We haven't seen them, I don't think. Have we?
We have done 2.
Was the other one After Hours?
It's I Sing the Body Electric. It was not the only other one that was not season 1.
Oh, yeah, because like
and the kids grew up, and the kid loved her.
Yeah.
The other one's Time Enough at Last. There's a mid-narration. And I Shot an Arrow into the Air. That one's really cringy. Now you walk, Mr. Corey. Walk with your guilt. Oh, fuck. Gig Young, the guy who played Martin Sloan, was 45 playing 36, which also, when I read that, I was like, thank God, because I was like, holy fuck, that's a rough 36.
Yeah, I was kind of looking at him, too. I'm like, okay, maybe like he just aged a little high, but yeah.
This episode takes place in 1934, which we had mentioned before. The neighborhood used for the set was actually for the movie Meet Me in St. Louis, which I've never seen. Have you?
I haven't seen it. I've seen like some sections of it, like the more famous songs and stuff, because that's the one with Judy Garland, and it's like she sings "Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas" and stuff. And I think the reason I know that too is because there was an episode of MASH where there were these like people that had like traveled a great distance just to get to America in order because they kept watching the movie Meet Me in St. Louis or something.
They try and like recreate it.
I think they just really wanted to get to the same town. They wanted to get to St. Louis or like this general area.
This one was actually pretty expensive for season 1. In total, this episode cost $74,485. The director received the usual $1,250, and the cast received $11,211.
What'd you say your name was?
What's in the name, Mr. Benninger, really? It's a mere question of semantics. Just language. A mere stretch of words.
So every week, Tyler and I come up with a few alternative titles to the episodes we are watching. This week, I have 4.
I have 5.
All right, go for it.
All right. I have the Do-Over Debacle.
Ooh, I got the Distance Debacle.
Yeah, nice. I got Merry-Go-Round.
I have Sloane's Single Summer.
I have Home Sweet Homewood.
I have Who Says You Can't Go Home.
I have You Can't Go Home Again.
And I think my favorite is A Walk Down Memory Lane.
I have The Summer of 34.
Back in the summer of 34. All right, switcheroos. I have 5.
I have 7.
All right, go for it.
I got Back There.
Yes, I got that. I have A Nice Place to Visit.
Yep. I have 100 Yards Over the Rim.
I have Young Man's Fancy.
I got It's a Good Life.
No Time Like the Past.
And my last one, of late I think of Homewood.
Hey. And I have Stopover in a Quiet Town.
Nice. All right, so for this week, no direct references that I could find, but a lot of different spiritual predecessors in the way of the whole message of you can't go home again sort of thing. So we have different songs like Bruce Springsteen's Glory Days, Green Day's Good Riddance, Kenny Chesney's I Go Back, and then we also have Miranda Lambert's 2009 song The House That Built Me, which was definitely about the sort of, trying to go back to your roots and like
that song almost makes me cry every time I hear it.
It is a really good song. And then also 2012's Looper particularly made good. I don't know if like they were inspired by watching this episode, but in the movie Looper, they hurt your younger self, and when you get hurt, the younger version of yourself gets hurt instantly. The older version feels it because it's usually like people that like owe money to the mob that like they time travel. It's like a time traveling mob thing.
I've seen that's the one with
Bruce Willis and
what the fuck? Here's a 3 or 4.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yep. Which it's so weird they give him like fake blue eyes to look like.
Yeah.
They should have done a better casting. It doesn't make sense that would be him in the future.
Yeah, the two of them don't really look a whole lot alike. But the whole scene where obviously younger Martin gets hurt and that hurts older Martin, I was like, wow, that's just like Looper. And then we also have an episode of Mad Men titled Nixon versus Kennedy, which subtly parallels the emotional and thematic undercuttings of Walking Distance, especially through Don Draper's backstory and his inability to reconcile with his past. And then we also have a video game from 2015 called Life is Strange, in which the game's themes of regret, time travel, and emotional consequences of like reliving the past kind of mirror this episode as well. And then, as you were saying, Back to the Future, definitely, if it not pulled inspiration, definitely there's a lot of parallels between this and Back to the Future.
Nice. All right, so every week Tyler picks the episodes, and he does so by showing me an AI-generated picture. I play a little game where I have to guess what it is. Now, Tyler says that I'm really going to enjoy this one, or he's hoping I will.
I didn't say you were going to enjoy it. I said it's one of my favorites. I think you'll love it, too. I'm just letting you know it's one of my favorites. And it's
episode 69.
69, dudes.
So
think about it. So we're in a block of 5. Are
we into Death Other again? We're out of our...
No, we're still in our block of 5. So the block of 5, so we started with Alien with Black Leather Jacket. So it was Alien Season 5. Then we had a Death Season 4. This was Time Travel Season 1. So 2 and 3 are on the block, as well as Future and Other.
Future and Other, all right. Well, I know... If it's Future, I know you really like number 12, and I don't like that one, so I'm hoping it's not that one, but I'm going to guess number 12.
You ready?
Yeah. Ooh, Midnight Sun. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Awesome episode.
That's a classic. That's a good episode.
Especially after the big heat wave that we had, because I was like, I'm going to put it somewhere in like July, August, and hopefully it'll line up with like a really hot day, and yeah, kind of did.
Sweet. Yeah, awesome. Next week, so we got 2 good ones in a row there. Had Walking Distance, and next week, Midnight Sun. Very good episode. Made our top 10 twist list. Check that video out.
Yes.
Messages. You are about to receive a message from the 5th dimension.
All right, so we have 2 more new comments on our top 10 funniest. First is from Zach. Says... Well, there's a lot of Z's preceding the name Zach, so that's why I read it that way. So Zach says, "Old blank Frisbee," they used to call me. Definitely love the Frisbee episode. It's
without a doubt
such a fun one. And then our other comment is from Libra Dragon. Libra Dragon says, "My childhood self favors Cavender's coming for the zany performance of Carol Burnett," which who can't love Carol Burnett? Like, her show's wicked funny, and then she was hilarious in the episode Cavender is Coming. And
awesome episode. I mean, any in that top 3 or our 3 choices they really could have made first. They were all such good episodes. All right, just a little bit of housekeeping. If you guys could please continue to like and subscribe on the YouTube page. Right now, currently at the date we are recording this, we are at 199. So close to it's unbelievable. Like, my goal was to get to 200 by Christmas time, and it's only halfway there. And we're at 200 or 199, but thank you guys so much. It means the world to us, especially you guys, the listeners here. If you've made it to this part of the podcast, that means you guys listen to the whole thing, not just tune out after the review or what have you, and it means the world to us. We really enjoy doing these, and it just makes us want to do it more, that there's knowing that there are people that are listening to it.
And we really appreciate just all the communication and connection to drop in the comments. We love it. We love to hear from you guys. So keep it up. And any suggestions that you have that we might want to add to the show, or just anything else that you just want to say, or if you just want to say hi, feel free to reach out.
Yep. And you can do so by liking us on Facebook, send us a message through that, or email us at twilightgnome59@gmail.com, or just drop us a line here on YouTube. Another thing, like, we kind of gloss over it. I have so many things I want to say during these things, then I always forget, but I would like to know, how are you guys watching? Like, do you guys just know all the episodes like pretty much I do, and then you just listen to us, or do you listen or watch the episode that you know we're going to be doing, or how do you do that? I'm interested to know about that.
Or do you just have never seen most episodes of Twilight Zone? You just like to hear us talk about it, and then kind of gets you pumped to maybe try watching it yourself.
True. I have done that with a couple things of shows for sure. All right, Tyler. Until then, my final question for you. What was your favorite summer or summertime memory that isn't watching the Twilight Zone marathon on 4th of July?
That is true. That kind of definitely sticks out. I don't really have any like big summer. I guess like our first trip to Disney that I remember when I was old enough to remember going. I'd say maybe that, or maybe the summer that my leg was broken. That's kind of memorable. That sticks out in my head just because it was kind of a hassle. Like I remember breaking the leg, and then I remember like getting to be pulled around in a stroller sort of thing for a long time, and then going up to Moosehead with a broken leg. That was an experience. So.
Yeah, I don't think there's a single thing for me. It's kind of just like a collage, because obviously, like, you can't be like all summer, like every moment was great. Obviously, there's going to be slumps and like boring times, but when you look back with the rose-colored glasses, just like all the times going to the beach or just doing simple things, you know, like simple things like going to get an ice cream and then going for like a deer ride in the summertime. It's just little things like that. I mean, I guess you could say that for life. It's just the little things that add up. But
yeah, definitely though. But
getting sentimental, just like the walking distance here, but. Happy 4th of July, guys. If you guys aren't from America, I hope you're still having a great time, and I hope the weather and everything finds you well. But until then, I hope you guys all watch the 4th of July marathon. And even if you aren't from the States, watch Twilight Zone
Does Sci-Fi
marathon.
still do that?
I'm not sure if they do or not, but I know Pluto has the Twilight Zone channel where 24/7 they just play every episode in order.
So you can just have your own Twilight.
Except it's not random. They play them in order.
It's kind of nice to have it random. That way, like, you don't know what you're going to get. It's like a little fun grab bag of Twilight Zone episodes.
But all right, well, whatever you guys do or whatever holidays you celebrate, we hope that you're with family and friends and are just hanging out watching the Twilight Zone. Ty, do you have anything to say to our dear, dear listeners until then?
Yes, thank you all for walking down into the Twilight Gnome with us.
It's 4 o'clock.